Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we got here. The House Financial Services Committee and Ag Committee met discussing changes in existing legislation for crypto. We've got your highlights. Eleanor Terrett finds the script to kill crypto. We got Ripple partner news. Is Ripple about to tap into the U.S. markets? We're going to talk about it. James Wallis, head of central bank engagement. You're going to want it. Technical analysis. Is there a new all-time high for XRP in the works? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.18 trillion market cap for crypto, and it's off by 0.5%. Bitcoin now 27,400 plus, off by 0.9% in the last 24 hours and 6.2 on the 7-day. Ethereum 1822, and it's off by 4.7 on the 7-day and 1.5 on the 24-hour. Tether right now 82.5 billion plus market cap, ladies and gentlemen. But how does the Department of Justice, U.S. Treasury, really feel about it? 42 cents for XRP. We're off by 7.7 on the 7-day and 0.3% on the 24-hour. Let's take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. Link 2. That's right. Proud sponsor, had an incredible panel at XRP Las Vegas. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Joe Endoso. Shout out to Jack McDonald from PolySign. I'm telling you, shout out to CEO Robin O'Connell for that panel. It was so amazing. And don't you worry, all of you will be able to see that footage just as soon as we get it. There was so many hours of footage. The data was hard. We had to get new external hard drives to be able to receive that material, and we are working on getting it as fast as possible so everyone gets access to those amazing participants. But look, this is where you can get private equity in the market before things take some kind of a public exit, whether it's a merger acquisition or whether it's an IPO. You know the drill, right? But Uphold, Ripple, and how much longer are you going to have an opportunity to get Ripple, ladies and gentlemen? Any day we're waiting for a ruling. And don't forget, Brad Garlinghouse has told all of us that Ripple does intend to IPO once they get a ruling in this case. So look, this is not the time to mess around. Whether it's Uphold, Ripple, Link to itself, which is really providing private equity at a level that no other company actually has done. Ledger itself, look at this. Artificial intelligence, and I know my audience loves artificial intelligence. Do not mess around. And listen, if you're not sure, it's different everywhere in the world. If you're not sure what it takes to become accredited, find out. Click the link below, check out my sponsor, and get started. Take a look at this. Speaking of getting started, the U.S. House Financial Services Committee and Agriculture Committees have met to consider changes to existing legislation to address crypto disclosures and dispel regulatory uncertainty. The committees heard testimonies from Kraken, Web3, TradeFi, and others. We know this, right? We see all of this. I'm not going to read it all to you again. I've read it for you. But here's what we do know. Ryan Selkis from Basari says this: House Dems are doing a lot of signaling on the anti-crypto front. Not very surprising, as their former financial services chair blew kisses to SBF when he testified. Here is Eleanor Terrett's original tweet here showing that the memo was circulated amongst the committees here, and it says that the Democratic committee members, it contains key messages for the Financial Services Committee to stick to, including supporting the SEC's total authority over crypto regulation. Look, we're going to take a look at this right now. Oh, boy, this makes you as upset as it does me, I bet. But I'm going to show you right here. It also pushes in here, not only does it contain that, it also in here, the message also asserts that committee Republicans who are looking to cut the budgets of financial regulators are not actually serious about protecting investors, should instead focus on passing a clean debt ceiling, which you can see right here in number 2. Right? And then it goes on to say, key messages: Republicans have decided to embark on a partisan pursuit, not a bipartisan, because they've decided not to do it on the left, right? But a partisan pursuit of sweeping digital asset legislation that erects entirely new legal framework for the crypto industry, when neither Biden administration investors, the SEC, nor other financial regulators have called on Congress to do so. Why are we giving people said answers to the test? John Deaton says it best here. When members of the House or Senate stick to a predetermined script and don't make up their own minds as to what is right or wrong, they deserve to not be reelected. And that goes for the right or left. Period. Hands down. Well said, John Deaton here. Vote him out. And then this guy. How the hell did this guy even get here? Oh my God, I can't believe I got to play it, but I have to play it. You're not going to like it like I didn't.
Crypto bros make money literally by making money, and they've made over $1 trillion out of thin air. They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
And there's the arrogance right there that should send his ass home. The U.S. government taxes hard-working people and companies and goes into debt while doing it. This man is an embarrassment to our congressional system. And you're going to see more of that. But nevertheless, I want to start right here. Is ETH a security or a commodity? Listen to this.
We've got a digital asset that falls under the CFTC for all things commodities. But if it is a securities, it's going to fall under the SEC. We just had Chairman Gensler in here who claims that every other token than Bitcoin is under the SEC's jurisdiction, including a number of the ones that we've talked about today. In contrast, the CFTC Chairman Bidham stated that a commodity like what he called ethereum would be under the Ag Committee's jurisdiction. So, Mr. Cullen, I'm going to talk with you first based on your background in CFTC. One of the simple questions that we asked before, ethereum, is it a commodity? Is it a security?
So I think it's a commodity, and I say that because there are futures contracts trading on Ethereum, just like soybeans or different gas or energy products.
And there you have that, but we're not done with it yet. Now take a listen to this. Nearly 70% of digital commodities traded today have already been deemed commodities by the CFTC as a body. And let us not forget, while we're hearing this, that is exactly, it's damn near to the point of what was said by Gary Gensler, Gary Goldman Gensler, when he was at MIT. He had this same understanding and clarity himself until getting the SEC chair.
Nearly 70% of digital commodities traded today have already been deemed commodities by the CFTC as a body, as opposed to any chairman, commissioner, or staff. And so I think we need to be thoughtful about which products are commodities and should be treated as commodities, just like oil or soybeans or interest rates. I personally approach because...
And there you have that, right? But now listen to this right here. Do we, in fact, as a whole panel, is it necessary for Congress to move down the path of adequate guidelines and regulation? Simply yes or no. Everyone except Timothy Masad said yes. Listen to this right here.
Fair enough. For all of you, I want to end where I began. It was suggested that this hearing is not about regulation. Seems to me it is. Is it necessary for Congress to move down the path of adequate guidelines and regulation? Simply yes or no.
Yes.
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 I don't think so.
Now, this cat on the end here, now that is actually Tim Masad right there. So I don't know who that cat is or if his name is very similar. But the last person on the end saying, I don't think so. Out of all of the 5 people, and this guy said, I don't think so. Boy, would I love to have him elaborate on that. But I tell you what, it sums it up, because this is exactly what the problem is here. You want to find out what's really going on? The rest of the world is laughing at us, because this about sums up Gary Gensler's approach at the SEC, unfortunately.
I personally would liken Chair Gensler's approach to my son Sam's approach. He's 2 when it comes to toys. He wants to hold all the toys, but he doesn't want anyone else to be able to play with the toys at the same time. And so I thank you for your answer.
Imagine being a grown man in a professional position like the SEC chair and people equating you to their 2-year-old son who doesn't want to share his toys. In other news, Wrath the Conman says, let's do some mapping here. Visa invested in TerraPay, Ripple capable. In return, TerraPay will integrate Visa Direct in its platform. It's not unexpected, they're huge. But interesting, Visa acquired Earthport and Currency Cloud, which we know are also tied to Ripple, and now TerraPay investor all Ripple users. So you have to wonder where this all ends up, right? It isn't clear if Earthport still uses RippleNet. If they do, it isn't clear if you're using ODL really either. So they're the XRP using product. So while it's true moving XRP uses minuscule amount, we're a long ways from knowing if it's even being used with any of these companies. And I think that's a great point to note, because I happen to personally believe that my speculation here is that I wouldn't imagine that it is being used if it's touching U.S. partnerships and relationships in any way. Just like when Liquidity Hub just launched, we knew that XRP would not be an option until we get clarity, right? So I think in order to not muddy the waters, it would not surprise me that it would not be used. Now, RippleNet would be a little bit of a surprise because you can use RippleNet itself without accessing XRP. Then there's this, Corpay, a business payments company under the FleetCor brand, a prominent partner of Ripple, recently announced that its cross-border unit has teamed up with the Sunflower Bank, a commercial bank in the United States, eh? Well, when we get down into this, it's a Wrath of Comment again. Shout out to him, give him a follow. Give Michael Branch a follow too, by the way. Corpay, a business payments company under the FleetCor brand, prominent partner of Ripple, recently announced its cross-border unit has teamed up with Sunflower Bank, a commercial bank in the United States. Though through this partnership, Sunflower Bank customers, especially those Sun West and Mountain West regions, will access Corpay's cutting-edge solutions for cross-border payments and foreign exchange risk mitigation. By leveraging Corpay's acclaimed trading platform, clients of Sunflower Bank can effortlessly manage their global transactions from a centralized access point. This will be particularly advantageous for institutional clients with routine payment requirements due to Corpay's FX risk management facilities. Corpay, formerly Cambridge Global Payments, secured a partnership with Ripple as far back as October 2020 to help enhance its cross-border services. Excuse me, Corpay joined RippleNet, Ripple's global network of banks, payments, institutions, to leverage the network to facilitate efficient, cost-effective cross-border payments. While Corpay leverages RippleNet for its transitional settlements, it is unclear whether Sunflower will also utilize the network due to its recent partnership with Corpay. Regardless, this collaboration between Corpay and Sunflower Bank is expected to bring greater convenience and efficiency to businesses that must transact internationally. Now, this is according to the VP Strategic Sales at Corpay Cross-Border Solutions, has expressed his enthusiasm for the newly formed partnership, stating that Corpay team is excited to establish enduring business relationships with Sunflower Bank's clientele. Corpay is the latest Ripple partner to expand cross-border services to more clients recently. 2 months back, remember, it was MFS Africa, another Ripple partner, secured a collaboration with leading financial services company Western Union to allow to send and receive money in Africa through their mobile wallets. So don't forget that, okay? Ripple partner CentB unveiled a payment service in the U.S. in January. These extensions expose RippleNet to a greater adoption if the partnership leverage the network. And that's what we're really watching for. Again, I think this leans into, just like the last piece of information we covered, the speculation that these tentacles, the plumbing and the pipeline, is all sit right here to have these companies access and provide access into the U.S. market, but have yet to do so and probably are waiting for a ruling before it actually happens. Ultimate goal here is that we have very efficient way of exchanging value. That's what James Wallis said, and shout out to Anthony Welfare for sharing that here at the most recent DMI symposium, which had begun the next steps for cross-border payments. Let me tell you what else he said. Mary C. Hall here from Ripple also shared this. Every single central bank we talk to talks to us about cross-border payments, says Ripple's James Wallis, head of central bank engagement, XRP Global Markets. How about that? Oh, we love it. We love hearing that. How about a new all-time high, ladies and gentlemen? We would love that too. He says this movement will pump to $3.30 if everything plays out. Pandora's box is in a critical key price range, 55 to 67 cents if we get into it here. Here's Pandora's box, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to get in there or get above it, and then we can start talking about that new all-time high and what kind of new shoes you might be getting if we hit it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.